Do you feel the shift in the air? In this time of year, autumn in the UK or fall, US side is just so beautiful. And as temperatures drop and as animals start to gather things to nourish their body and to hibernate and to slow down, this is exactly what we need to be doing with our exercise and our Pilates practice. So today I'm going to show you how to bring that into your mat Pilates practice. So if you've been feeling a little tired lately or just craving that kind of slower grounded movement, this is exactly what we are going to do today. It isn't laziness, it's seasonal energy at work. Now, I have long been a believer in working with our body's natural rhythms. That might mean doing your more intense workouts at the start of the day when your cortisol levels are naturally higher, and doing your slower, more strength-based or calmer mobility work in the evening when your body is ready to wind up for sleep and you don't want to be raising those cortisol levels with something high energy. And the same is true for our year. If you're someone who's quite sensitive to the changing seasons, now is a time of year where if you live somewhere that the days get shorter and darker, and practically you may not even want to get out to a class in the evening when it's dark, you just want to snuggle up. And that's what this class is all about. Your nervous system, your sleep, your motivation can all be affected by the changing seasons. So we're going to practice something I call seasonally intelligent movement. Now today we are going to focus on our mat work, but I would also include in that things like making sure you get out in the morning before midday, get some daylight, do some more high energy exercise. That way you're going to help work with your natural rhythms, but also make the most of any natural daylight that's available. It's just going to boost your mood and make you feel better. So lots of people try to push through with those same summer style workouts, and that can lead to tiredness or burnout. What I'm going to propose, and what I'm already doing in my Pilates classes face-to-face, is taking those movements and actually just, rather than making things more complex, we're just pulling the movements back and spending more time on the moves within the moves, on the technique, on going deeper into the moves. Much like an athlete would do winter training to prepare for the next season, it's like we are taking the exercises apart, doing our own autumn and winter training so that when summer comes, we are ready to unleash our best Pilates. And Pilates offers a really nice middle ground for these autumn months. It's that perfect mix of strength training with restorative exercise. Yes, it is energizing, but it can also be grounding. And let's not forget about those benefits. So exercise is brilliant for our immune system. And as we come into autumn and winter, we need to really look after our health. It can help maintain our energy and mood, particularly giving us that serotonin boost, which if you're someone that struggles as the days get shorter, you really need more than ever. And of course, it encourages that connection, that mindful connection between body and breath. So there are 3 key movement principles, which I'm going to explain to you now. Now, the first one is grounding. So this feeling that we need to just go a little deeper, a little slower, and be much more sure of ourselves. On a physiological level, these slower movements calm the nervous system. They can help us go deeper, they can slow the mind, help us to focus as well. We don't always need to be adding more complexity or more layers. So let me show you some examples now of those exercises that we might do. So for me, the roll-up is a brilliant example, and I would take a band for this. And as we come into our roll-up, so as we're coming back down, the band gives us a little bit more space and time to start to feel the movement in the lower back. We can soften the shoulders down. We start to roll back, and as you roll back, we are really lifting these hips up. And we can spend some time in this position, just allowing the shoulders to drop, allowing the jaw to relax, getting that sense of those hips lifting up to the ribs. And perhaps if you're someone who has struggled with the roll-up, whose lower back stiffens up, allowing yourself to slow things down just can give you that time to start to feel that gentle shift in your lumbar spine. So we can lift up. I teach this first with a little pull back through the elbows, where the elbows come into your sides. And then we start to roll back. And as we roll back, feel you can relax your jaw, You relax your chin, those hips open up. Again, let me show you. So we just feel, spin those hips upwards, open through the lower back, press the heels away, and then just gently drop your shoulders down. So that's one example. Another example might be when we are in our leg pull position, trying to feel that we can really get these shoulders working. So a cue I would use for this, we'll start in a hover position. Let your knees hover. And as you send the shoulders away from your ears, feel the movement comes from underneath the arms and notice the connection that you can get. And then we can go deeper into that by thinking, what are my neck extensors doing? So we bring your hand to the back of the neck and we gently press your neck into your hand. And then the hands come down and we hover and we feel those shoulders drop down. And suddenly you start to really feel that strength in the upper body. And that's going to help with your leg pull. It's also going to help with your push-ups. It's also going to help with your posture. And just think of the number of exercises that you can do this with. And I love, as a Pilates instructor, getting creative and going deeper into those movements. And I know my class participants always love it too. So the second principle is warming. So yes, sometimes we start a class and the room is a little bit chilly and you might want a nice dynamic flow. Again, at this point, you're not using the same thoughts and going as deep internally as you are with those grounding exercises. You want movements that you know, that you trust, that you can flow through so you get this nice dynamic set of exercises. So let's break that down. So we can move from a hover to a side bend. The leg lifts up, the ribs are lifted, back to your hover, knees hover off the floor, over to the other side, find your side bend, that leg lift, back to your hover, knees hovering off the floor. Step your feet out into more of that plank position. Remember, those shoulders come down, the neck is long. We draw your shoulders together. We push the shoulders apart. We let the ribs lift. Bring your shoulders together. Push the shoulders apart. Let your ribs lift. Come back to your knees. Take a nice big step forwards. Find your stretch. Ease in. So you're warming up through your hips. We step back. We bring the other foot forwards. Ease in to your stretch. So you're opening up through your hips. The foot comes back. We come down to your side. We find your side lying leg kick. Now I'm speeding things up here. We've got that lift through your side, hand to your back, gently let the ribs come in, and then we just start to come on up to the side. Bring your hand forwards. We start to lift up. We start to lower. So we start to build now in towards your teaser. So the legs come up. We come back down. And then as the legs come up, we roll over onto your back and we can take that into your scissor, in and change and in. Then we could take that over to the other side. And once we've come back to the other side, this time we're here. Fingertips up towards the ceiling, hands into the back of the head, noticing that connection and control. And then your feet come down and your hands by your sides. And we roll up into your bridge. And we can hold the bridge, or we could add your leg lift and then lower back down. So you see, it's the movements that you're familiar with, that you know, and that you can just flow together. Let your leg come on up, down, and then back down to the floor. So that's your nice warming movement. You can give yourself 6, 8 exercises that you can flow together and that you could do multiple times. And then the third principle are those nourishing exercises. So the way your spine moves, the way you breathe, noticing that breath work into your ribs, supporting the body's natural inclination to just rest and restore. So we've done grounding work at the start. We move through this dynamic flow and then we come back into a more restful, mindful, nourishing part of the class. What might that look like? Well, I love exercises like this, where we're thinking about how much space we can create through the vertebrae in your spine. So we have one leg extended. We bring your arms up over your head, stretch out. If I'm doing this one-to-one, I might bring my leg between those hands, just enable my client to extend, and then the leg and the arms come up and I press my lower back into the floor. So we come up and out. Or we've got your shoulder bridge, where you're thinking about just slowly mobilizing through your spine, moving through the vertebra as you come back up and as you come back down. We've got your breath work, where you might place your hands around the ribs and you take a deep breath in and the ribs open and they come back together. We take that deep breath in and the ribs come back together. And then we come onto your side. So think about your spine, the ways it needs to move. We've done stretch, we've done the flex. We bring your arms up over your head. We allow those ribs to extend so we get that space there. And then we can flex up and come forwards, but then onto your side. So we can come from here over to your forearm. We can bring this arm all the way up and over, and we focus on the side bend and we lift through the waist. But then what if you bring your hand into the back of the head, keep that waist lifted and add a twist. Breathe in, come down and slowly come on up. So always thinking with this nourishing work on how we breathe, on almost trying to breathe into your nervous system, but also giving your nervous system room to breathe. So we're extending the spine, we're extending through the hips. How can you create space? So next week, I'm going to put this all together for you. So I'm going to actually teach a full class where I'm using these principles. But have a go of some of those concepts that I've introduced you today, ways that you can implement those 3 principles. So the grounding work, the dynamic flow, and then that nourishing breath work into your own classes when you do your own practice. And listen, how does your body feel this season? Perhaps you're someone that loves autumn and finds it energizing, or perhaps you're someone that's just thinking it's going to get darker and it's going to get colder and I'm not sure I can wait till the spring. Let me know. It's really important to notice how your body feels. It's really important to notice how it affects your brain health too, how it affects your mood. I've got a few little challenges for you today. The first is to make sure you're subscribed, and there will be many more seasonally inspired Pilates and health tips. I want you to comment with 1 or 2 words about how your seasonal energy feels at the moment. And I want you to check in next week where I am going to be putting this sequence of exercises together. Now I want you to go off and make yourself a nice cup of warm squash soup or a nice cup of tea and sit and enjoy and be okay with slowing down and be okay with taking a little bit of time for yourself. I will see you next week.